So today, as you can probably tell from the title, I'm thinking of titling this something along the lines of bad doodles, but had a helpful impact on my style, but something shorter and cuter than that. So as you can probably tell from the title, I am going into this sketch spread today. Very happy with studying a new subject matter and trying things out, but specifically I was really focusing on the mindset of I want to try and better build this style that I've been curating and trying to figure out. I decided to try out a new subject matter. I don't really draw squid or octopi or whatever, so I was just kind of doodling and really inspired by this tiny squid that I saw on a YouTube video I was watching, and I wanted to draw it. And I don't really love the spread at all anymore, honestly. I don't like the squid or the octopi. I don't know what I was drawing, just kind of these noodly things. There are a couple of them that I like that I'll obviously talk about and point out, but more specifically what I want to address today in the video and what I kind of got out of this sketchbook spread was a really, really fun and really cool discovery about the way that I want to paint. And I feel like this sketch spread really helped me with the blocky brush strokes and really helped me to figure out how I want to implement that into my style. So, if coming on this style exploration with me sounds like something you would enjoy, I'm Rory Flint, but feel free to call me Rory. If you're new around here, hi, hello, how are you? I like to create dope art content and hopefully a chill atmosphere. And if you're not new around here, what is up, my dudes? I hope you're excited to finally see me figure out how to paint in the style that I've been trying to for a while now. Even if I feel like the subject matter and the colors and just I don't know, the doodles as a whole aren't that good, I'm happy to show what I've been talking about in terms of the brush texture and the layering that I've been trying to achieve in my style. At first, I was definitely having a lot of fun, just kind of doodling these long-limbed dudes. I even throw in a manta ray or a stingray. I still don't necessarily remember the difference between the two and how to tell the difference between the two more specifically, but I draw this guy with coral coming out of him, and I have a lot of fun with that, and I end up drawing a couple tiny little squid octopi doodles, and they're so cute. I love them so much. But the ones that you kind of see here, I'm not the biggest fan of. They were my first two, so they were bound to be a bit rusty. I definitely think that I'm pretty sensitive to color when it comes to my spreads, and I didn't do the best job of picking colors that ended up doing these squid justice, in a lot of the photos and references that I was looking up, there were so many brightly colored images, and that's just so not my thing, so I feel like I went too far in the opposite direction and kind of muddied my colors a little bit. But when it came to the sketches, I was just trying to have fun sketching things that I don't normally sketch and just trying to keep it refreshing and do something different. And I definitely feel like I did that. Currently in the video, I'm kind of doodling these manta rays that are I think these ones are manta rays. I think the ones with the little tentacle mouths. Anyways, they're kind of coming towards us in the frame and what's it called? Foreshortening, when something is getting bigger as it comes towards you and appears smaller as it's farther away from you, and just kind of working on that a little bit in that top right corner was a lot of fun. And these are actually the two little doodles that I end up liking a lot. They just, I don't know, oh my god, I don't know what that was. I don't know, but they feel very expressive to me, the doodles themselves, and I quite like that. I feel like the other ones just look a little bit too much like I was trying too hard, and you can kind of tell through this sped up version of my sketching that I'm kind of struggling a little bit and trying to figure out what the hell to do. And then on the page beside all of those little doodles, I don't necessarily mean to just draw one giant squid thing, but that is what I end up doing. And it was actually a lot of fun. If I had to pick, one thing that I think actually turned out pretty well, it was this, squid dude. I was really happy and content with the way that I was able to paint with a larger subject because I normally do a lot better with the expressiveness in smaller doodles. It's much easier to get those quick fluid brush strokes, where with larger paintings, I don't necessarily have the brushes to help me make those larger paintings more fluid and help the brush strokes look less structured in that way. It's definitely something that I want to look into and maybe get a couple larger brushes so that I can really just kind of like throw shit down on the page and it doesn't look too structured. But all of that to say that I end up really liking this large octopusy squid dude. I don't know which one he is. I googled squid, but I have a feeling that I'm also drawing some octopi in here. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think the colors, and it's my first time painting squid, so I was really trying to figure out how to paint them, and I just don't think that I totally did it right, but I learned some things, and that's fine. And hopefully I'll be able to draw another squiddy looking thing. I'm thinking with like some coral would be really neat, and some fish, because I love to draw fish. That might be a lot of fun. But then again, it also might be a lot of fun to maybe draw a painting, or paint a painting rather, in Procreate. Maybe where like this giant octopusy squid thing is like eating a fish, because I love to draw like fishes. Oh my god, I did not just say that. Please ignore that. I like to draw fish that have been like bisected in some way, so you can kind of see like the bone of the head and of the body. So that actually might be a really good doodle. I actually should make a note of that right now. Okay, just made a note about it, so hopefully I won't forget. I've definitely been battling like with this sketchbook, kind of figuring out how, like, I want to do a bunch of things in Procreate, but then I don't want to film it. But I do want to film it because the things that I make in Procreate end up being things that I love, and I want you guys to see them. But I just know part of me wants to set up like my film setup and then sit down with my tablet. I want to curl up in my bed with my tablet and watch like Steven Universe and doodle. So figuring out that, I don't know, how to get myself to really want to film Procreate has been a bit of a challenge, but I'm working on it. Ignoring that, you can see here in the video I've started painting, and I don't know, I'm kind of just like going about it the best way that I can. Like, I like that, like, the little suction cuppy things kind of look like they're floating off of the tentacles at certain points, and I was trying like a wet on wet texture and then going on with just like a dry brush and adding more detail. And I don't know, wet on wet is just like not my thing. Obviously it has its purpose. I really like it for backgrounds, but I do not like it for I don't really think I like it in like things and doodles that I'm doing. It tends to not come out the way that I want it to. I don't know. I'm really vibing with the manta ray. I'm really happy with him. Like, I feel like just ignore the stupid squid thing on this page and let's look at the manta ray, because I feel like I'm getting some of that texture down. I really like the way the colors are turning out. I'm adding small details with the colored pencil, which I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of. I wouldn't say that there's as many textured brush strokes as I might want, but further into the video, I continue to experiment with that, because my entire goal with this page going into it was just to figure out what the hell I want to do with these textured brush strokes. But when it comes to like this little guy's tentacles and stuff, I'm really happy with it. It's just like the squid thing itself that I'm not vibing with. But the manta ray, much better. Love it. It's so cute. And then like the little ones getting further and further back, I'm like really happy with the way that ended up being depicted. And I don't know what I was able to do with those sketches. I quite like them. Now we get to start on the other like stingray looking dude with the coral coming out of him. And yeah, I don't know. I end up being really happy with him too. I love this idea. I like the fluidity that I can get with this type of like antlery coral. I think it's a lot of fun to draw, and when I want to fill space but I'm trying to kind of be thematic and continue with this like under the sea vibe, it's definitely something that I consistently go back to. I just love it. So here are the two squid octopi looking things that I actually really end up loving. I'm quite happy with the hand and the way that the hand turned out with this squid, but the squid like interacting with the hand, I'm like, I don't know, I don't dislike him, but I definitely think I wasn't totally sure how to color these guys, and this was kind of like my second attempt, and I don't know that it turned out much better than the first, but the tiny squid octopi things I love. They turn out so cute. Especially the one directly above the hand that is just going like, woo, with his tentacles. That is like so cute. I really like him. I definitely think if I go about this in the future and try to draw more like squid octopi looking dudes, these two doodles are the ones that I'm kind of gonna look back on, because I definitely think that just the really, I don't know, like dramatic tentacle-iness of them is more the vibe that I'm trying to go for. You can definitely see a little bit more of that brushstroke texture on the stingray. You can see a little bit on the hand, and I'm kind of working on it with this second octopus-looking dude that's interacting with this hand that's reaching out. I'm not quite sure that I was able to get it quite perfectly, but you can definitely see that I'm starting to experiment a bit more, trying to figure out, I don't know. So I guess the whole thing with this spread is that it's not that like it turned out perfectly or exactly the way I wanted it to, but it was more that it was like a really good learning experience, which I don't always have those with my sketchbook spreads. I don't know, I don't feel like it's a super common occurrence for me to come out of a sketchbook spread and be like, wow, I really learned something. But like seriously, I really learned something here, and that was really exciting, because I was just like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks, you know? I was just really trying to figure out what I'm doing, and I don't know how I want things to look and what isn't working. And the entire time I was very consciously painting this spread and going, okay, I didn't like the way this worked, we're not going to do that. And then, okay, I really liked the way this turned out. I want to remember that, and moving forward, keep that in mind. And I don't know, like approaching this entire spread with that mentality, it meant that I ended up really actually learning and having things to take away from the spread and having completed these doodles. Now we move on to the large this is definitely an octopus, I think. I mean, what is the difference? Does squid have the same amount of like tentacles? I'm pretty sure everything I've drawn is an octopus. It looks like an octopus, but I typed in squid, so I don't understand why. Anyways, the tentacly dude that I'm focusing on here that ended up taking up like the entire spread, I am incredibly happy with the sketch. I love it. And honestly, I think that I end up really enjoying the way that he turns out, on top of just enjoying the process of painting him. This is where I really took what I kind of learned on the page next to it and was like, okay, let's like do the layering and the expressive brush strokes, and don't go in like too strong right away, and make sure to be able to build up layers with color and focus on lighting and what should be lighter and what should be darker, and just really trying to figure out what my goal is with these brush strokes. I'll definitely say that paying attention to the lighting and paying attention to where I was putting the darker colors, which, like, this sounds like a duh statement, but it was really helpful, and, like, it helped me understand what I'm trying to do when I'm blocking in these colors very loosely. I'm just trying to figure out where the light is, and I'm trying to figure out how to make this shape come alive and look more 3D, and sometimes I forget that when I'm painting. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm adding color, and, like, the whole, I don't know, like, what I want to achieve with this blockiness in my painting style is that I want, I don't know, I want my sketches and my paintings to look like they're occupying a 3D space. But I don't want them to look realistic. I want them to look kind of impressionistic and loose and, I don't know, very textured and fluid, if any of that makes sense. So I just really took my good old time with this guy. I was letting just about every layer dry in between, and I mean dry thoroughly, and then I was layering on top, almost completely using this sepia color from, what's the brand? St. Petersburg White Nights Sepia. I really, really love that color, or sepia, however you want to pronounce it. So I really end up kind of just going in and carefully trying to, I don't know. I know I say that, that's like been my go-to filler phrase at the moment is, oh, I don't know, and it's like, it's not that I don't know, I'm just kind of trying to keep track of what I'm trying to say, but currently in the video, I'm kind of going into the section cups, is that what they're called? You know, like they're little section cups, and I am defining them, and I don't know, kind of trying to figure out how I want those to lay on the tentacles, and also, again, trying to keep in mind all of the lighting and the movement of the tentacles and everything, and trying to make sure that the suction cups make sense to show up where I have them sketched in. And for like the rest of the video, we just keep layering and layering and layering. I start to build out some darker colors with some Copic markers, and you'll see that I end up kind of going back in with watercolor and laying over top of that because it was a little bit too jarring, but I thought that it was the color that I wanted, but I definitely think I should have used a lighter one first, but that's okay. You know, I go over it with a lighter brown Copic marker and then more paint, and, you know, I just start kind of doing that dance of pushing and pulling the darks and lights until I get them to a place that I want. I really, really, really love the shadows that I ended up putting on the tentacles that are sitting kind of behind the octopus-looking guy. I feel like they just, the addition of the dark shadow really, really helped push those into the background and start to bring this guy to life. Yeah, I definitely really, really like this guy and the way he turned out. I think that I had a lot of fun with this particular painting, and I really hope that you guys kind of see what I'm talking about when it comes to why I'm happy with the way that this particular octopus turned out, and in regards to like the style that I've been trying to go for and really trying to hone in. I hope that you guys can kind of see my progress here. It's not perfect. I definitely think I could push more shadows, but overall it was a fantastic learning experience, and I just can't always say that for a lot of my sketchbook spreads, and that's the point of a sketchbook, right? So I really want to try and focus on that in future spreads and just see what I can learn from them. thank you so much for sticking around this late into the video. As you can tell, you guys are kind of seeing the last little full close-up shot of my sketch spread, and that's really it. I had a lot of fun actually learning in my sketchbook, and I hope to be able to do that more and to have more topics to talk about with you guys in terms of what I'm learning and trying to experiment with as I continue through the sketchbook, because I am almost done with it, and I'm very excited because I got a square sketchbook that's slightly smaller, and I definitely think it'll be a little bit more manageable because I've found that with this particular sketchbook, it's taken me a while, but also I'm kind of doing a lot of new things in my life right now. I am working a job that I really love that's taking up a lot of time, and I'm also kind of trying to force myself to relax and watch TV shows like Steven Universe, which I've mentioned, and so because of that, I don't always sketch as much, or I don't think it's that I sketch less, it's that this sketchbook requires more of me because it's much bigger, and so I'm excited to go to like an 8x8 square sketchbook, not only because I've never really sketched in a square format before, but because I think the size will be a bit more manageable. But I'm definitely going to be bouncing between an 8x8 and this 8.5x11 size, I think. So all of that being said, I hope to be able to talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!